Only one type of burger. For every pallet. Fries are extra. Large in size. We've got the shakes. Going over the brim.
Hey, this is Chris from JCW's. Put a positive, delicious spin on your day at any one of our 5 locations. In Lehigh, American Fork, Provo, South Jordan, or Harriman. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
Do you love the Tabernacle Choir? This year, the choir's music is everywhere you are. Listen to your favorite choir songs and music and the spoken word anytime you want on Alexa by simply enabling the skill.
Alexa, play music in the spoken word.
Now playing music in the spoken word.
You can also download the Tabernacle Choir app, subscribe to the choir on YouTube, listen on Spotify, and have access to all their wonderful music. Happy listening.
And now, it's 10 a.m.
Let's just get down to it.
And it's time for your sports fix.
Strap yourselves in, folks.
From 2 guys who have covered the teams you're passionate about for years.
We are professionals.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Ed, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson, thank you for making us a part of your Monday. How's it going, Ben?
Doing well. How are you?
Living the dream.
Oh, good.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, right. I don't know. Weekend full of basketball. That's good times.
Sure. Unless you're a fan of basketball in the state of Utah, which you were not treated any wins.
I mean, Utah State's game last night was fun.
It played great. They had a very honorable run. It was an honorable season. They represented the Mountain West Conference very well. The only team to represent the Mountain West Conference.
I mean, great year for Utah State.
Agreed.
You win a conference title. That's a great year.
Agreed. I think we...
Unless you're Gonzaga in the WCC, winning a conference title is a huge deal.
Yeah, I don't think we give that enough value as I don't want to say country, but as sports fans. You know, I think we dismiss conference championships in all sports because of the postseason that comes after that.
Well, and
the postseason.
You got to realize, which becomes such a silly measuring stick because then you look at the same teams that make the Sweet 16 or whatever every year. But Utah State doesn't have very many tournament wins, period.
Right.
So if that is the measuring stick of success, first of all, they won one this year.
Yeah.
Big deal. Huge deal. But, I don't know, I feel like a broken record saying this when it comes to the Aggies, but, I remember when Stu was on his way out and the Aggies were going to the Mountain West Conference and, talked about what a big leap that was going to be for his program. And he talked about what a daunting task that was and, to just keep going to other coaches and plow right through it, to be at the top of the Mountain West Conference multiple times. It's a huge deal. Yep. Honestly, it's not that dissimilar to what Utah did in football in the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
And now we'll see where Utah State goes as they go into the Pac-12, a very different-looking one. But I have no reason to doubt, regardless of who's the coach, honestly, that they will compete and be at the top of that league.
And we have not seen any news on Jerrod Calhoun, though there is some speculation that he could be named the head coach at Cincinnati as soon as today, though. Again, pure speculation.
Personal stuff definitely has its draw, but I don't think if I'm purely looking as an up and coming coach at what jobs to take, I don't think Cincinnati would be on my list.
Okay. They pay well. They pay better than Utah State.
Well, sure, but can you win there? They don't have any NIL, so they don't have any money.
Mick Cronin won there.
They are in. Well, what league was Cincinnati in?
Not the Big 12.
Are they in the American?
There was not the Big 12, sir.
Yeah.
They're going to be at the bottom of the resource pile in the Big 12.
Yeah.
They are in a good league, and you can recruit to it and all that sort of stuff. And, again, personal stuff aside, I just don't know if Cincinnati's if you're an up-and-coming football coach, Ben, let's say you're a Mountain West coach or something, like you're going to have opportunities on your horizon. Are you going to take the UCLA job?
Tough. But again, if it pays you enough that it doesn't matter if you ever get another job, that's the value.
But if you want to look at it like Urban's secret sauce of his ascent in the coaching world were the jobs that he picked.
Picked smart jobs.
He picked jobs that were ready winners and underachieving, or the job was open for a reason not being that the program stinks. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like Utah's program was in fine shape when he took it over. Maybe Ronnie Mack had plateaued a little bit, but it's not like they took over Wyoming.
But
Florida was ready to roll.
The program hadn't plateaued. He recognized maybe coaches that had plateaued, but not programs that had plateaued.
The potential was still there. Yeah, he selected that very carefully. That the league that they were in, he could step in there and he could win immediately, and he did. And then Florida, why were they bad? Well, because Will Muschamp isn't smart enough to know how to tie his own shoes, and that's why they were underachieving. So nab that. You remember his dream job, Notre Dame, was open at the same time. Why didn't he take Notre Dame?
Right.
Harder to win there.
Yep.
Harder the ascent. And then Ohio State, when he took that, I mean, that was the biggest no-brainer of them all, not just because it was Ohio State, but because the job wasn't open because of losing or underperforming. The job was open because some players traded gear for some tattoos.
Yeah. Which is what Christian does. Which is why we keep missing headphones, and his face is getting more and more tattooed every time we see him.
Do you think Jim Tressel is bitter to this day? Not at Urban, but just at the scenario?
I'm sure there are a lot of people who think, why did I get in trouble for this?
I'm sure.
How did I get in trouble for this?
Super bitter to this day. But anyway, my point is choosing jobs. If that's his goal is to ascend. Now, listen, that's not every coach's goal to climb the ladder like that. Stu Morrill, for example, wanted stability. He wanted to stay in Logan.
Like that?
Mm-hmm.
So, and maybe Cincinnati's a job you can keep and stay and all that. But I just don't think that you can win there.
He's also from Ohio.
No, that's what I'm saying. Personal stuff aside.
That's the huge draw.
Yeah.
It's where I had coached previously. It's where I grew up. I want to be back home. I want to be close to family. And I'm making probably double what I would make at Utah State if this ends up being the case.
Morgan Scalley isn't the coach of Utah because it's the best job in the Big 12. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get it. That's why I'm saying personal stuff aside, if his whole goal is just to progress as far as he can go in the college coaching career, I don't think I'm taking Cincinnati. But we'll see.
Yeah, well, he may not take it. We'll see. Yeah, he may want to make the jump to the Pac-12. We will see.
And there's a chance that Utah State might really push to match whatever salary. I don't know how much more Cincinnati could pay than Utah State. They might pay a little more. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Cincinnati should pay a lot more, right?
Why a lot?
Because they have a lot more money.
Do they?
Yep. They're in the Big 12. Yes.
Have you looked at the Big 12 TV deal isn't what it used to be.
Versus the Pac-12? Yeah, you're loaded.
I don't know about the new Pac-12 TV deal. I'd have to go and look at it. But I don't think the gap is necessarily as wide as maybe people would think.
They were paying Wes Miller $2.95 million.
Yeah.
Utah State's paying Jerrod Calhoun $1.85. Obviously, if he sticks around, that's going to get a bump.
And he will make more than this last guy at Cincinnati.
Right.
But that's not. But that's not. They're going to pay him $7 million, and so it's a no-brainer. That's not what
probably
that is.
Probably 3.5.
Right. I mean,
if that.
Doubling your salary. I mean, if any of us got our opportunity to double our salary, we would go wherever. And then if it was home.
But you're ignoring what Christian said. I mean, where does Utah State come to the table with giving him a raise? You know, they can make it. I would think. I don't know Utah State's finances, but they can make it a not no-brainer from a financial standpoint.
But they haven't recently.
I don't know. What did Washington pay Danny Sprinkle?
They keep losing guys, regardless. You know, they do keep losing coaches. So clearly they're not willing to just go all in on these guys.
3.68 for Sprinkle.
It's not crazy.
I would rather have the Washington job than Cincinnati.
Yeah, I agree.
And Odom, where did Odom's now at UVA, but he left for
VCU.
VCU, that's right.
And that's the other aspect of it. Because if you do go and win at Cincinnati, you become you are in line to then take the UCLA job or take whatever the biggest jobs are in college basketball. Very rarely do you jump from Utah State to one of the 10 best jobs in college basketball.
Well, but
Ryan Odom is the best example of that. VCU, he did the Urban Meyer thing. He take a place you can win, and then he went from a place you can win to a place you can win a national title.
But I don't think Odom left Utah State for a better job.
You don't think VCU is a better job than Utah State?
Maybe, arguably, but I don't think that's why he left.
He's from that area.
He's an East Coast guy. I don't know this for a fact. I mean, you could talk to Scotty, but I don't think he liked Logan very much.
Okay.
I don't think he liked...
But he's from North Carolina.
He's from,
so he goes back and
coaches in that area because...
Goes back to that area.
Right.
And same thing for Jerrod Calhoun.
And Odom won, he did fine at Utah State, but I don't think it was one of those like, oh, this huge job came and, they're paying me $1 zillion. I think he was leaving regardless.
Sure.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I do.
And again,
I
don't mean to, I don't know that for sure. I've never talked to the man. So if somebody knows and says, oh, he's full of it, then I could very easily be. But that was the impression that I got from people I talked to. So I don't know if it is the best example because, we're talking about Calhoun, for all intents and purposes, really likes Utah State and really likes coaching in Logan. Mm-hmm. I mean, unless he's really just laid it on super duper thick. I don't think it would break his heart if he stayed. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think he's fighting to get out. I've never gotten that impression from
I
him.
don't think Odom was looking to stay.
Now,
I don't know about Sprinkle. I mean, he was here so short.
But you can go to the Big 12, coach in your hometown, know that you have so much leeway for losses to still get into the NCAA tournament. And I think you can win at Cincinnati. There is some history of winning at Cincinnati and getting to the conference tournament, or I should say getting to the NCAA tournament. Whereas we've learned in the Mountain West Conference, you can have one of the best seasons and teams that Utah State's ever had and still be the only team out of your conference that makes it to the NCAA tournament. You had to win your conference tournament just to get there. And then once you got there, you got a terrible seed, which is why you had to face Arizona in the second round. Like, all of those things are working against you, and you're going to be paid less and you have zero NIL. Certainly no investment from the school, as he told us last week.
Well, 2.4 is the number that was thrown out over the weekend is what Utah State's paying, which is not nothing. Shout out to Jim Lobb. No wonder he was thanking him.
But when he said the school didn't give me anything, he said the school didn't give me anything.
Yeah.
He didn't hide that. So you go to Cincinnati and you get part of your negotiation to take that job is I need X amount of investment from you in addition to my salary. And I think that can help me win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if Cincinnati's drowning in resources, to be honest with you.
I'm sure they're not, but they've got more than Utah State.
They do, but they're also in a different league at a different level. I'm just saying it's not a no-brainer. I don't think that is a very good job. I don't.
Cincinnati.
I don't think that Utah basketball is a very good job.
Agreed.
The amount of resources they get playing in that league, it's going to be next to impossible to get off the mat. And Cincinnati's not on the mat like Utah. Don't get me wrong. What'd they win this year? Like 18 total games.
Wasn't paying attention to Cincinnati basketball.
They were middle of the conference. I think eighth or ninth.
Eighth or ninth.
Ahead of BYU.
Yes.
I think they had the same conference league. I mean, we can.
They were both 500, I believe.
So, yeah, it's not all the way to the bottom, but I don't know what honestly the potential in the Big 12 for Cincinnati is going to be. It's one thing to be the one with the most resources in the American, but that's not the case anymore.
How many of the new Pac-12 schools how often is the new Pac-12 going to be a two-bid league?
Oh, I bet most years. The Mountain West should have been a two-bid league this year.
Because I think I look at it, and you've got Gonzaga, San Diego State, Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, Utah State, Texas State, Oregon State, Washington State.
That might be a three-bid league.
It's a lot of exactly what we just had in the Mountain West Conference, plus Gonzaga. And Gonzaga's going to beat everybody up.
But Gonzaga's an automatic bid. I mean, look what happened.
They are, and then I wonder if they're going to say, yeah, well, Gonzaga's the only good team in that league, and everyone else is going to get left out.
But they're not the only good team in that league. And San Diego State has a great reputation. I'm surprised they didn't get them in this year.
That's the exact same argument. Yeah, you could have had this year in the Mountain West Conference.
But look what happened when BYU went to the WCC. It went from an only one big league every year to a two-bid league every year. I mean, and that league was way worse than what you just rattled off. Way worse. Mm-hmm. And in fact, the good part about the new Pac-12 is they really did trim some programs that weren't doing much. Although New Mexico certainly is a good basketball program. Mm-hmm. But I mean, how much is Wyoming really doing for you?
Right, nothing.
But
neither is Boise State when it comes to basketball.
Oh, Boise State's been very good at basketball this year. Not so much, but they've had
okay seasons.
I'd have to go look. They've been in the tournament like more often than they haven't been the last 10 years. Boise State's been decent. The Mountain West has been a good basketball league. I don't know why the committee screwed them this year, and maybe they weren't quite as good as they have been. But this has been a decent basketball league with Final Four runs, with finals runs.
And they don't care. They made it 3 times in the last 15 years. So, no, Boise State has not been some dynamite team. They did make it 3 years in a row.
Yeah, right.
But they haven't made it each of the last 2, and they didn't make it for 6 years before that. So, no, I don't think Boise State is some dominant team either, and San Diego State clearly doesn't have the respect, despite the fact that they did make a national championship
I did
run.
not say dominant, but you compared them to Wyoming, which is incorrect, especially over the last 10 years. And you cherry-picked to go back to 15, 3 out of the last 15. They made it 3 years in a row. That's really good. And they haven't made it for 2, and this year was a down year for Boise. They were not great this year. But to say that they've been Wyoming is not correct.
Sure, they've not been Wyoming. But Boise State is not exactly somebody who you're like, wow, we're bringing in Boise State. Our basketball league is great. No one thinks that. No one feels that way about Boise State. So
they're a better basketball program than Oregon State or Washington State.
You think so?
Yes.
I'm not sure about that.
Currently, certainly.
Maybe better than Oregon State. Yeah, and Washington State at the moment. But Washington State's had some very good runs. So we'll see. I don't know if the new Mountain West Conference is going to get a lot of love. I think having Gonzaga really is going to help you out. I don't think it puts you in the same conversation as the Big 12, obviously, or even a middle-of-the-pack Big 12 team.
So if he wants to, I think it's not a no-brainer. If he wants to go back home, there's nothing you can do about that. And if he thinks he's going to be set up more for success because of his connections in that part of the country, that would certainly make sense too. But from a job standpoint, I don't know if it's an automatic no-brainer. I think, and maybe, you know what, maybe I'm not giving Cincinnati enough credit. I just don't see them being very good in the Big 12, like ever. And maybe I'm getting too caught up in the NIL world where you look at these NIL numbers and they're like the bottom 2 or 3 schools. Do they have a lot of money? Then they haven't been a Big 12 school for that long. It's not like they were making any dough in the American.
Right, and they haven't made the conference tournament or they haven't made the NCAA tournament since they jumped to the Big 12. Again, Mick Cronin, there was a reason Mick left when he did. You know, Mick wanted to jump when he had that opportunity, and they've not been able to replicate that success. And he made it every year for 8 straight years, 9 straight years. So I'm with you. I don't think Cincinnati's, again, UCLA, it's not this dynamite job that you automatically step in and win at, like, any coach could at Virginia or wherever you want to look at some of these powerful basketball schools. But I think you look at how difficult it is to compete in today's landscape at a place like Utah State. And I wonder, A, if they're going to be able to keep up this magical run that they've had, which has been incredible, and B, I think I would understand why coaches do bolt when they get the chance.
Oh, I think you can win at Utah State. I think the next bozo they hire is going to win at Utah State. I think they've got a lot of built-in advantages at Utah State as opposed to their competition. So, I mean, we get caught up in these coaches because we think the coaches are the most important thing in the world. And really, we always talk about it. Good job, good coach. I mean, I think it comes way more down to the program. I think Utah State could hire Christian, and they're going to win. So,
Christian, would you be interested?
Be careful what...
Depends on the salary.
I need NIL commitments.
Be careful where you go, because at one moment you're a genius, and the next moment you're a bozo.
Hey, again, I'm not disagreeing that I think there's a real underrated aspect of what Stu Morrill did. I think a lot of what Randy Bennett's doing right now, right? Randy Bennett has won in the WCC, and now he's going to apparently make this jump to Arizona State, it seems like. And he probably is not going to win there. Now, he's been coaching for 20-plus years already, and I understand why he's making this jump because he's going to get one big payday and then be able to retire if he wants to. But there is something to be said about making $1.5 million a year for 15 straight years at a place where you can win, and you don't have to win every season, but you can win more often than not. I'm not opposed to that as a coach. I'm definitely not opposed to that. But I also understand in today's landscape, when you just get as much as you can, as quickly as you can, and the thing that matters more in your contract is your buyout, more so than it actually does what your yearly salary is, I understand why you would make that jump to Cincinnati.
See, I just don't think if that's your goal, I don't know if Cincinnati's your next stop. That's really my entire point. If your whole goal is to climb the ladder and make as much scratch as you can over your entire career and retire a legend, I'd pick my next stop a little more carefully, I think. Because you have to win wherever you go. I mean, you have to win. That's the bottom line. I mean, we can talk about, you double your salary. Well, you double your salary, and this is your last contract if you don't win. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So Urban, maybe he could have made more money going somewhere else besides Utah when he was coming out of Bowling Green. I don't remember specifically who else was interested at that particular point. But the point is he picked carefully. Notre Dame could have paid him every bit as much as Florida did, maybe more. Although they were paying, who was it, Charlie Weiss? No, they hired Charlie Weiss instead of Urban. They were paying Ty Willingham a crazy amount of money to go away. But I'm guessing that Notre Dame could have paid every bit as much as Florida. but it's easier to win at Florida.
The accurate comp here, and the local one, has Craig Smith made more money by jumping to Utah and getting fired than he would have had he just stayed employed at Utah State?
Or picked a better job for his next job.
Or picked a better job. That certainly would have been ideal.
That is the conversation. Because he left Utah State for a bad job, and now I don't know what Craig's doing. I think he's on the couch.
Agreed. He was trying to get the San Diego State job and didn't get it, right? It's kind of the rumor. So
So it's... You gotta win where you go. You gotta pick a place where you can win. I would argue you can't win at Utah.
He got a $5 million buyout from Utah. He probably got a couple of $1 million a year while he was here, so he's probably close to $10 million in total payout. That would have taken him quite a while to win at Utah State to get that much.
Nice. But his
he
career
would have been
still,
employed, and had he done exactly what the last two coaches done, or actually, I guess, is it 3 coaches now since him? Mayo. Or Odom, Mayo.
Odom,
Sprinkle, and
Calhoun,
Calhoun, who are all leaving for bigger jobs, or we'll see if Calhoun leaves, but those guys have all gone on to win more. They picked better jobs, to your point. And so that was smarter for them. So making that jump, if you're not going to win, is not risk-free.
Like Sprinkle's doing himself in.
Correct. Now, he got a relatively huge payday, right? $3.5 million
and you should be able to win at Washington. Honestly, I don't know why he's not winning at Washington. You should be able to win there. But how far is his career? I mean, he was ascending as quickly as any coach in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he went from, where was he? Was he at Montana State or Idaho State before?
Yeah.
He was at Montana State, right? And before that? Anyway.
Regardless.
In like 3 years, all of a sudden, he's the Washington coach, you know? You got to be careful. I mean, if you think your recipe can win at Cincinnati because you're winning at Utah State, well, Utah State, they don't have a ton of resources, so maybe there's something to that. But if I'm really looking at which job I'm going to take because I want to end up at North Carolina at some point, or bad example, because they only hire North Carolina people apparently. But if I want to end up at Kentucky or Duke or whatever, I'm careful about Cincinnati.
Yes, that's probably not your pathway to get the huge job after that.
If he wants to be Ohio State, if that's
maybe
the spot that he wants to eventually be, I don't know if Cincinnati's the best thing to do because I don't know if you can win there in the Big 12. In the American, maybe it's a different story.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
But then if he's still in the American, they can't pay any money. They're in the same place Utah State is. So, I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Get your payday. That's what he's going. He's going home and he's getting his payday. If this ends up being the case, and I do understand why you would do that. I understand why you would look at the things that Cincinnati offers, even from just a facility standpoint, is probably far above what Utah State offers. But I'm totally with you. You undersell job stability and the ability to win. That certainly happens. I mean, look around college basketball.
Plus 1.8 in Logan, that's what he's making, 1.8?
Goes a long way.
That's like $10 million everywhere else in the country. Are you kidding?
Correct.
And it's not like that guy's paying for anything up there.
Right.
He walks into the grocery store and some friend of the program lets him load up Jameis Winston style. Get those crab legs. That's an old reference.
Mm-hmm.
Jameis Winston once played for Florida State, Christian. I don't know if you knew that.
Stole some crab legs.
He was controversial. Yeah, got caught shoplifting. Said he didn't do anything wrong.
I fully suspect somebody was like, yeah, you're Jameis Winston. Just take these crab legs. And then somebody saw it and they said, you can't do that.
Oh, yeah. That guy went in there for groceries every day, and then some manager didn't know who he was.
Yeah, exactly right. 100%.
Why is this dude walking out with crab legs? But nobody went to him and said, hey.
I like that Jameis knew how to make crab legs. Not that it's hard to do, but it's not what college kids eat. It's not ramen.
He's from Louisiana, isn't he?
And everybody loves crab legs.
Everyone. I'm not saying I'm not surprised he loves them, but I don't think I learned to steam crab legs until I was 30.
We live in Utah.
Yeah. Well, and let's not pretend like steaming crab legs is like...
Exactly. It's not hard, but I didn't learn how to do it as a 20-year-old.
I'm with Christian. The part of the country he grew up in. Although, wasn't he stealing the big snow crab legs? That comes from
king crab.
King crab legs. That comes from a different part of the world.
Correct.
All right, stay tuned. Yeah, we'll talk more NCAA tournament. The Jazz did play. They play again tonight. We can talk about that coming up. Stay tuned.
Can't wait.
Continue fallout from the Witt situation. It's all straight ahead on the Jake and Ben Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA is heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, Get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
That is so soft. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. They rescinded that technical foul that he got because... Anyway, Luka got his 16th technical foul right, and then it was rescinded by the NBA. And the reason it was rescinded because Goga made, I guess, trash talk, but kind of obscene trash talk. That doesn't excuse behavior, right? He shouldn't get his technical foul taken back for that.
Like, don't giving guys texts for talking trash.
Don't NBA players say all sorts of horrible things to each other? You can't.
I don't know why the NBA is handing out texts for trash talk in the first place. Yeah. Are they fighting? You know,
that's weak.
Also, let me tell you about Kevin Garnett.
Luka, don't pick up 15 technical fouls throughout the season.
Who was it?
End of story. If you don't want to get suspended, don't pick up the first 15.
Who was it that called Charlie Villanueva a cancer patient?
KG?
Was Kevin
Garnett?
Yeah. That might have crossed the line.
But whatever, you can't, like, if Charlie would have lost his mind and gotten a technical foul, you still get the technical foul.
You do. But again, these guys were talking to each other, not even physical, no pushing, no shoving.
I mean, yeah, true. What this guy said to Luka was not great. But you still can't react like that, right? Like that. All right.
Like that?
Time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com, brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials, J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, the Jazz in Salt Lake City hosting the Toronto Raptors tonight.
The Jazz can probably afford to win 2 more games the rest of the season, I would think. They have 11 left. They've got 3 games that are going to be very winnable tonight, not included. Toronto's, it's a horrible Eastern Conference team again. That the East is just mediocre, but the Jazz aren't going to have a lot of bodies out there again tonight. So this would be one I would think the Jazz would most likely lose, but they still have to play the Wizards coming up on Wednesday, which is almost a guaranteed win. I think the Wizards have lost 16 in a row. Again, credit to you. You called this right on the spot. The NBA was done finding people. They fined the Jazz $500,000. They fined the Pacers $100,000, and they have kept their mouths shut since.
Nope, haven't done a thing.
Not a single fine. The 2 bottom teams in the East have lost 16 games in a row.
That's why that fine was ludicrous.
It is completely ludicrous, and the outrage from Jazz fans at the Times was totally justified.
Totally justified.
So, and from the Jazz.
Well, listen, if we want to talk to why they were fined, and honestly, you called the Eastern Conference mediocre. We can't use that word anymore. It's
too
awful.
Generous?
It's awful.
Yeah.
That conference is awful.
It is.
The lengths that the Jazz had to go to lose that game against Philadelphia were gross.
Yeah.
And Philadelphia is that bad. People want to give VJ Edgecombe all this credit. Their team was trying. The Jazz were not. And Philly still could barely win.
He's spinning the ball on his finger.
It was absolutely awful.
Yep.
The Jazz had to stop playing Phil.
He's spinning the ball on his finger.
They had to stop playing Phil. Phil.
Right. Cody's out tonight.
Just take it. Take the ball.
Ace Bailey had a real solid game going. Couldn't play him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, had to rest the first 6 minutes of the quarter.
It's so obscene. No offense to the Jazz. It's so gross what they have to do to lose these games. You've made this point in the past. Will Hardy has got to be looking over at old Nick Nurse being like, what are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
And I'm still proud about this, that I said this before the season. The idea that they could try and lose enough games was laughable.
Yeah.
Laughable. And it's because people forget how hard it is to be this bad. It really is.
It is.
It really is an insult. It's insulting to the 76ers is what it is. Nick Nurse should be like, are you serious? The other team had to boot it that hard just for you guys to get a W? And by the way, they're tied for like 4th in the East.
The the 76ers fell because of that, because the Hawks are 9-1 in their last 10. The Raptors have lost 2 straight. They're all sitting on 39 wins. So the Raptors, Hawks, and 76ers are all there at 39. But to the point you're making, the Jazz had to try that hard to lose that game. They have to do the same thing tonight against another team that is currently the 5th seed in the East. Like,
it's silly.
Team that's in a 4-5 matchup, which is supposed to be a very close playoff series. So, yes, Jazz probably can't afford to win tonight because they are going to beat the Wizards on Wednesday because the Wizards, again, have lost 16 in a row, just like the Indiana Pacers and are sitting on 16.
And they made a pact, right? Remember Jake's
well, then the Jazz won in Washington. So
now maybe the pact was even reversed. Maybe they're going to be like, we'll win in your hometown.
Yeah.
You win in our hometown.
Maybe that's it.
We'll
I don't know. But
see,
both teams trying to lose, that's anybody's ball game. But in sports, if one team is trying to lose and the other team is trying to win.
Well, again, that's the actual handshake. We're in agreement. We both have a desired outcome. You want to make the playoffs? We don't. Let's figure out how to get this done. And the 76ers really tried to back out of that deal.
Unbelievable.
So the Jazz can probably afford to win 2 more games because they are 2 wins behind the Dallas Mavericks. Jazz are sitting on 21. Dallas has 23. I think Dallas is going to win at least 1 more game before the end of the season, meaning the Jazz probably have about a 3-game cushion, so the Jazz can win 2 more. They play Washington on Wednesday. That's going to be a win. They still host the Memphis Grizzlies. Those are probably the wins the Jazz are going to find. Otherwise, you can't pick up games like this against Toronto if you want to, feel very confident that you're going to hold on to your pick.
Okay, this is going to sound very insulting to Kennedy Chandler, and he is an NBA player after all. But he is 5'7".
He is. He's very little.
And Will sent him into the game with a Kobe-like green light.
Uh-huh.
He's got to be looking at Nick Nurse going, Nick, we're handing this to you, bro.
Right.
Just take it! Take the ball!
I just gave Kennedy Chandler the green light.
He's got 22 minutes. He's taken 13 shots. He hasn't played in the NBA in 3 years.
And he's tiny.
And he's taking it to your best players.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's the
Eastern Conference playoffs is not even going to be worth watching.
No, it's not. Not certainly at least until the second round. But that first round is going to be a mockery of basketball.
It's going to be like watching the Salt Lake City North Stake tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe entertaining for reasons, but quality of basketball ain't it.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
Number 2, Nick Schmaltz hit the game winner in overtime to give the Mammoth the win last night.
A couple of huge goals from Schmaltz yesterday, including an amazing one that he popped the puck up to himself and then hit it in the back of the net. It was like like your old Little League baseball coach. What do they call that when you're throwing the ball to yourself and hitting it? What are those called? What's that practice called? Yeah.
Like fungo bat?
Yeah.
Like you're hitting flies?
Yeah, exactly right.
Uh-huh.
Schmaltz basically did that, but, against other NHL players right in the crease. It was pretty impressive. And then got the game winner in overtime, and they got 2 points. 2 points that they desperately needed because they are trying to fend off teams like LA who are behind them. And again, you keep picking up points in these standings this late in the season, and you're gonna not coast to the playoffs, but you're gonna have a real good chance to make it.
And we've talked about why I think it's important that they make it, but can I say this? Talking to a few people over in that building, Jazz Mammoth people, they are absolutely riding so high about making the playoffs. Like the excitement about it over there, and then the Jazz next year too. That's why I kind of combined because like the overall vibe of that building is super high. Like I think everybody, including fans, are ready for a real playoff, NHL playoff experience. And obviously, they need to keep winning to get there. But the anticipation of it is pretty real.
They are only 5 points up on Nashville, who suddenly is red hot. We've talked a lot about the Kings, the Kraken, and the Sharks. Nashville has won 4 straight and are coming up close. And I think they played 1 fewer game. Maybe they played the same amount of games. I think they played 1 fewer game. So Nashville has a chance to pick up more points. And they're playing very well. But again, the Mammoth in the driver's seat in the wild card, sitting on 80 points with, I think, 11 games left to play. Nashville has 12 games left to play at 75 points. There is some breathing room now, though, to falling out of the wild card entirely, as they are now 7 points up on the Kings, who they beat last night. Next.
Number 3, the Sweet 16 is set. What a weekend we had in the NCAA tournament.
Have we just killed Cinderella's? Do we think that's dead?
I can't decide. Ken Pomeroy was talking about that this morning with DJ and PK.
It's back-to-back years that there's no mid-majors in the Sweet 16.
And he tends to think things are a little more cyclical than this is just going to be how it is for the rest of eternity. And I would tend to guess that things will swing. I mean, the concept of this tournament is too random for it just to be like that.
forever.
All the time.
Like that?
But resources are a thing, and if you have resources, you have huge advantages. And I do think we are seeing that play out to a certain extent. You know, Arizona is going to pump whatever it takes into their basketball program. They don't care about their football program, but their basketball program is going to get everything that they could possibly need.
BYU should be kicking itself a little bit because, as Texas showed, you can beat Gonzaga and eliminated Gonzaga. But what I saw in that game, and what I think I've seen repeatedly throughout this tournament, which BYU struggled with as well, it's what Utah State struggled with against Arizona. Again, these teams have players that are the right size at their position, and that's such a huge advantage. Texas is big. They've got guys that are at least the average height, if not bigger, at every single spot, and Gonzaga doesn't have that. And BYU right now didn't have that, despite having some real advantages in certain spots, specifically A.J. DeBonsa trying to play the 2 or the 3. That's a huge plus for them. But these smaller schools, even though they're very talented, High Point, Utah State, whatever, Gonzaga, they don't have players that are the right size. And that is really, really hard to overcome, where Texas is going out and using NIL to get, maybe it's their 6th guy, their 7th guy, and it's not a lot of money, but it's more than Utah State can pay, or it's more than Gonzaga maybe even be able to pay. And when you have that size advantage at every position on the floor, you do lose on offensive rebounds, which is how BYU lost to Texas and how Utah State lost to Arizona last night. I'm seeing that, and maybe that's just a weird one-off this year, but that's what my concern would be, and why I think that the high major teams, the teams that are in these 5 power conferences, have all advanced, and teams in the smaller conferences are having a harder time.
I thought Utah State represented itself well against Arizona, and I've never had any particular love for the Wildcats, but can I tell you that I am cheering for them to do well for one reason? They do not shoot the 3, and I'm so tired of people telling me that the only way to win in basketball is to shoot a zillion 3s. There's more than one way to win a basketball game. Arizona does not care about the 3 in the slightest, so I don't have to listen to that make or miss crap, and I hope the concept proves itself out. Because I'm annoyed by the people that say, if you don't shake 33s, you've got no prayer. I don't know.
We're seeing a lot of bigs right now play well. We're seeing a lot of bigs win, honestly.
Right. I mean, it's like people who tell me in college football that you have to throw it 50 times or you're not going to – yeah, there's more than one way to do it. I'm cheering for Arizona to get it done a different way so those people can pipe down for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair.
Stay tuned. We will get to more. We've got a busy day. We'll continue to talk NCAA tournament.
Texas hit 5 threes against Gonzaga and won. Yeah, it really helps. It really helps when you can force turnovers, get out in transition, and score in the paint.
Dunks are still very effective.
Dunks are the best shot you can take.
I would argue that Chris Paul proved it against the Jazz. The mid-range shot, you can actually win doing that too.
Gonzaga only hit 4 threes, so it wasn't like it was a barn burner from anybody. But no, you're right. I don't think it's been 3-point shooting that's been the dominant storyline here, and I think that actually makes for more fun college basketball.
Stay tuned. More next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA's heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
The sun's shining, birds are singing, and all feels right in the world.
Until the season changes, and suddenly you lose your motivation to get out of bed. In fact, 1 in 5 people experience some form of depression, no matter the season or time of year.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all, because we want you to live your best life and be your best you all year round.
Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
I'm here on a job site with Tim, who owns his own electrical contracting business.
3 employees and 2 work trucks.
Tim traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance. We're positively here where he needs us most.
They sure are.
With step-by-step help on all his insurance needs, all for shockingly low rates.
Shockingly low, huh?
Just a little bit of electrician humour. Do you get it?
I got it.
You know, it feels like we have a real connection. All right, I'll stop.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. It feels good to Geico.
What's that? Whether it's the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, These guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
1, 2, 3, move it.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Rebound?
Don't do that. That's going to help us win. Jazz news. Bez Mbang has signed a second 10-day contract with the Utah Jazz.
Yeah. And he's coming off a good game. He played well against the 76ers.
It'd be hard not to, apparently.
quite easy.
It's like the easiest thing to do in the league, apparently.
He had, let's see here. First of all, he played 45 minutes.
Yeah.
13 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. The Jazz are auditioning a lot of guys right now. That's what 10-day contracts are good for. Kennedy Chandler's on one right now.
Played 37 minutes.
Career high, 19 points.
Green light.
The Jazz are going to have some positions to fill this offseason on the roster and not a whole lot of money to do it. So, go out and try out some of these guys and get a look at several players. And also you need some dudes who can eat some minutes at the end of the season, and they can. But, don't want to bury the lead that Ace Bailey continues to play very well. Ace Bailey is, I think by all measures, had a successful rookie season.
Oh, yeah, I agree. He's gotten better. That's all you can ask.
Yep. We played the update at 30 on Will Hardy talking about Ace getting better defensively. He had 5 blocks. I don't know if Ace is ever going to be Andre Kirilenko as a shot blocker, coming over from the weak side. But there's a reason you draft 6'8" guys and 6'8" athletes, and Ace Bailey is exactly that. And this has been a terrific, terrific draft class so far. Everybody is playing well in the top 5. Dylan Harper had a little bit of a slow start, but since the All-Star break, he's been insane. Con Knippel's going to win Rookie of the Year. Cooper Flagg is going to be a future franchise player. And VJ has had some really good moments as well. He didn't look awesome over the weekend.
I was unimpressed.
But he's had some
I like that he
moments.
had 13 rebounds.
Yeah, he does some things.
But I was absolutely unimpressed with him.
But this draft class has been really, really good, and the Jazz, picked one as well. The Jazz got a guy as well. That was really, really important because there actually has been a steep drop-off after these top 5 picks.
Potentially. I don't think Ace has arrived.
No, absolutely.
I bet
There's no guarantee he's anything.
No, I bet you the Jazz are not telling him he's arrived. But I think the fact that he's improved is, and I'm not talking from a number standpoint. I mean, you can see, I was talking to Tim about this. I mean, you could see early in the season, even when he was sick and hurt and all that, he would make 1 or 2 plays a game where you go, oh, hello.
Yeah.
And now he's put those together more consistently. And it seems like he's done some things with his shot that have made it a little better.
And he hits really advantageous shots, meaning specifically he hits those pull-up threes off the dribble at such an insanely high rate that it's at his size it's basically impossible to
And as Will Hardy noted after the game against Philadelphia in particular, he really guards and talks about how much better he's gotten on the defensive side. He had 5 blocks right against five against Philly, but the 2 that stood out were just monsters. That one he sent into the second row or whatever. But the one that started the break and then to come back and Elijah Harkless was smart enough to feed him the lob after he ran the floor, that was really something.
Yeah, incredible.
And, big, long, and athletic wins in the NBA.
It's a good combo.
As long as, your head's on straight and you listen to coaching and get better and all that stuff, then, man, your potential is through the roof, and it certainly is.
And so far, so good. And now you hope that, if you're a Jazz fan, they add another player of that ilk this season, if not better. And, I think AJ is going to be the number 1 overall pick. I think he's not, he's not playing anymore, but I don't think Darren Peterson did a whole lot for himself in the tournament. They got eliminated last night, and he looked fine. And we'll see, maybe Cam Boozer can put it on, but Cam's got his physical limitations, specifically athletically. But I think you're looking at some very high-level players again in this year's draft. If you could add another player, even of Ace Bailey's caliber, you'd feel very, very good.
All right, stay tuned. We will talk about the fallout. I'm curious if Ben's opinion. One thing about news that breaks on your show is you get first crack at it, which is great.
Okay.
But sometimes you listen to other opinions, and things settle in a little bit. I'm curious if your read is still the same on what we found out about Coach Witt and Utah's messy divorce.
Okay.
We'll get to that coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA is heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.